Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today I wanted to take a first look at Cindra. So Cindra is the new hero from the Hunted. Whenever you hit a marked hero, create a fealty token, so there's kind of like some Draconic synergy here. And then also we get this kind of cool effect of like re-equipping daggers from the graveyard. So uh, I think what a lot of this hero is going to be like flicking daggers, sending daggers, probably going to be a decent amount of dagger synergy cards, which we have kind of a few cards to kind of take a look at initially. So the first card that we see here, I think this is a Majestic, if I'm not wrong, is Blood Runs Deep. So Blood Runs Deep is basically like a 0 for 4 go again, assuming you have two daggers available to you, right? And then it also, like, the 2 damage is kind of like split up from the 1 and 1. So it's like a 0 for 4 that's like also very hard to block. So very, very cool card. We also got a couple new kind of spoilers today. So one of them is Burning Blade Dance. This is basically like one of the comments from the set. Again, we don't know if these are going to see play in like the final iteration of the list, but we do kind of get a little bit of a hint, I guess, as to what Cindra does. So this is like a 0 for 3 go again that also allows you to flick a dagger. So kind of like a 0 for 4 go again, assuming you're running daggers. So very, very cool. We also kind of get a hint at what like Mark synergy does. So we have a 0 for 3 head jab basically. That on hit marks a hero, which is very, very cool. And when we mark a hero, we also get a fealty token. So also very cool. Sorry, when we hit a marked hero after we mark them initially, right? So if, like we're not going to get a fealty token off the tag target, but this will like kind of start the synergy off, right? And yeah, I kind of have kind of put these alongside what I think are some of the better Draconic cards right now. So we got like I guess two new ones from the set. So are the Dragon Blood, which is kind of like a 0 for 4 potential go again that also like discounts your attack. So this card could be really good. Kind of depends on how often we're able to like make fealty tokens. Are the Dragonfire kind of a similar synergy? And I'm apologizing in advance because this is like very low resolution on Fabry for some reason. But anyways, this could potentially be like a 1 for 7 if it turns out to be Draconic. So very, very cool card. And yeah, that's kind of like the core of the deck. We're also running just some like fun cards like Uprising and Knives Out to kind of like buff our daggers, because these both actually apply to just a draconic attacks, right? So or draconic attacks and daggers. So these will buff your daggers, which is kind of cool. And then we're also running some Brand with Cinder Claws because up until this point, like we haven't actually had ways to like make a mark or generate fealty tokens. So these are kind of filler for now, just to like make things draconic, just to see how things play. And then in the sideboard, we kind of just have this like defensive package. But yeah, these are kind of the cards I'm considering right now, at least in this initial kind of iteration. Again, as we get more cards, I'm sure this changes like probably 30 cards, but maybe some of these cards actually end up seeing play. Let's kind of take a look at the maybe boards, the cards I didn't include for now. So like our Dragon Claw, which is kind of like the CNC of the set, very cool. Our Dragon Scale, I think, is a little bit less good. It's just like equipment kind of synergy stuff. Currently, there's not a reason to run Tome of Imperial Flame, so we're not bothering with that. Flame Scale is also like decent, like two block temper, but I'm just running Tunic just for like curve purposes. And then Blood of the Dracai also potentially interesting, just because there's presumably going to be a lot of like if Are the Dragon Blood is good, I assume that eventually at some point Blood of the Dracai may be good. But remains to be seen. And then we also have like Proclaim Vengeance, which I don't think is that good of a card. It's another Mark synergy card, but I when I was testing this, I don't think that this card actually makes a ton of sense, at least with the information we have now. And then we have also like the stuff that's like Royal Synergy I have here in the maybe board. So like Imperial Edict, Imperial Ledger. I don't actually, this just makes a gold token. Okay, that's probably not. But Imperial Warhorn might see play. Like again, this has seen play in like a lot of decks to just like interact with like items or allies or auras. So this is like potentially interesting. All right, I did actually have to make some edits here. So unfortunately, the mark cards are not yet coded on Talishar, so I replaced them with Lava Vein Loyalty and Engulfing Flame Wave just to kind of get a feel for the play patterns. I also think I added Brand with Cinderclaw to replace the Dagger Synergy card that was just spoiled. So again, a little bit early on the draw here. I was actually kind of hoping that they were not, like, I kind of had a suspicion that they weren't fully coded, but what I was going to try is like if I could like manual mode or whatever, but apparently you just can't even run them in general. So making those changes, we'll probably give it another look once those are actually in the system. But yeah, let's give it another shot. All right, we have a victor here. Curious how this matchup is going to go. Okay, so yeah, we definitely want our D-Reacts, I think. And what else do we want? What do we want to cut, if anything? I feel like engulfing's kind of like a meme. And then maybe cut like one salt and maybe, I don't know. Kind of just vibing here. Let's maybe cut like 2 yellow Cinder Claws. That seems fine. I feel like I'm the best vibe-based sideboarder of all time. All right, we have a Miller's Grindstone to start us off. Opponent's running 64 cards. I don't know if fatigue is really a consideration here. Ooh, we do have this little combo though, so that's kind of cool. Part of me just wants to like block 2 on this and just say whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll block 4 or 5, I guess. I don't know. Seems fine. I don't think fatigue is really a huge consideration in this matchup. I feel like one of us is going to kill the other probably relatively quick. All right, so we have a Hurl here. That's kind of interesting. So we have a play here where we could do Kunai Kunai, Brand, Hurl, recur the daggers while the chain link's open. That's kind of cool. All right, let's go for that. Because we're going to have 3 Draconic chain links, and we were able to put... that's why I think Hurl's actually kind of solid, at least initially, kind of testing some stuff out. Like, you could basically put a dagger in the graveyard alongside Flick while the chain link's still open. So I'm going to kind of try to showcase that a little bit here. So we're going to Flick here, which will put a dagger in graveyard. Then we also get to... I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter when we play this Brand of Cinderclaw because the Draconic effect doesn't really matter. But we probably should have played it first, if anything. But we'll play out the Brand. So this will get us to 3 Draconic chain links, which means that Cindra's ability is now free. We also get a Mass Trigger. I forgot about that. Okay, interesting. Oh, we made... I guess maybe the play was to... Wait, do we get it? Oh, are the daggers counting for that? Okay, interesting. I haven't played Mask of Momentum with daggers before. I think they might be counting towards the Mass Trigger. That's kind of interesting. Okay, we have a CNC here. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. We could try to block it. Like, this is almost certainly CNC Pummel, but maybe we just make him have it. So they do have the Pummel, pretty obvious. So we're unfortunately going to lose our Sync Blow here, but I think I'm just doing this to kind of mitigate a little bit of damage. It's also like baits out the Pummel, so we don't have to deal with it later. And like sometimes taking an off turn into Victor specifically is pretty good, just because like if they draw like a bunch of clashes in hand or something, right? Like they can't really do a ton with it. So we're gonna just go ahead and take this. I think I'm looking to Arsenal. So we're gonna have to come up on Tunic, so maybe Mounting Anger maybe gets better than Hurl. So I'll discard the Hurl. All right, get rid of the Sync Blow, which is unfortunate, but we have 5 other reacts in the deck, so shouldn't be too stressed out. All right, Tunic will uptick, while Arsenal is Mounting Anger, then we'll pass back. I haven't actually tried that new Tunic mode. Yeah, manual Tunic mode. I should try that at some point. Okay. We're getting pummeled again. Sure. Right, discard the Hurl. That. Sure. Sounds good. All right, what do we have here? We have Tunic getting uptick, sure. Or Tunic getting pulled off. Do we have anything that really cares about buffs specifically? It's kind of interesting that we don't. So I'm kind of fine to take this Choke Slam. Like, what's our play next turn? We can do Mounting Anger. So the problem is this Art of Dragon Blood also doesn't have a ton of synergy yet, just because we don't know like all the Mark synergy and all the fealty stuff yet. We do have 2 Chain Enders in our hand, unfortunately, so maybe we do just kind of be a little bit conservative here and block. We're also coming up on Tunic, so we can do a Dagger, Mounting Anger, Breaking Point, and then recur the daggers. So I think that's... So the problem with that is, I guess, we have to close Chain. Oh. Yeah, I'm kind of fine to just block a little bit here then. Maybe it's fine to have daggers like go to the graveyard for a turn, especially in this early iteration of Cindra. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the kunais. I think we're gonna just try to push this breaking point, which I have no idea if this is ever gonna be good in Cindra. This card was not historically all that crazy. I think it like got. I think I saw play like 1 or 2 times in like 5 decks, but beyond that, I don't think much. So we have our daggers. Okay. You can flick one of the daggers, I guess, here. Then pull Tunic and Breaking Point. Unfortunately, both our daggers are going to be going to bin here. Flick the Kunai. And we'll pull Tunic to send the Breaking Point. Should threaten their arsenal. What do they draw off their Clash? Reveal a Crush the Weak, sure. Right. They unfortunately have a Sync here, but that's okay. Oh, we do get a Mass Draw. That's cool, I guess. Sure. Arsenal that plays headlong, pass it back. Alright, so we have a Crush the Weak with 2 other cards in hand. So could also be another Pummel, which would suck. We can block 6 on it, and that's probably fine. If they want to pummel us, we just re-equip Dagger's Pass, and that's probably okay. If they don't, then I think that's also fine. So we can re-equip Daggers here. Send Blaze Headlong, maybe Arsenal Brand, just to set up like a Draconic synergy at some point. This is a little bit bad to take an off turn, but at least I'm not getting Clash shares, which I'm kind of happy about. Right, we have a Spinal coming in. They don't have Tunic, so they're not threatening Pummel now. What we can do is we can block with Breaking Point and then Fate Foreseen, which is pretty decent. Seems pretty alright. I've been trying to goldfish this deck a little bit in my own time just to kind of learn the patterns. Ooh, we definitely want that Blood Runs Deep, I think. So this is unfortunately going to be another hand where we're probably going to leave the daggers in the graveyard, which kind of sucks. And I don't think it's generally what you want to be doing with Cindra. But unfortunately, due to like the card pool not being known, so like what I imagine is going to happen is there are going to be a lot more cards, like the card that was spoiled today, Tegan. If you want to insert that, there are going to be a lot more cards that I feel like are kind of like hurl effects, is my guess. That are ways to keep the combat chain open while also putting a dagger in the bin. We'll go ahead and flick here since we're losing our daggers anyways, which is unfortunate. But we'll go ahead and then send the brand, which is threatening 1 on Mask, which is at least good. All right, draw the Blunder Receipt, which we knew about. So that's interesting. Maybe we could have sequenced a little bit better. So we can play the Blood Runs Deep and it would deal 0 for 3. And then we can recur the daggers and then set a Breaking Point. Actually, maybe that's better. Like, we're not getting the full value off of this, which is maybe fine. But we do get to recur daggers, which is maybe worth just sending the card. The reason I was like, oh, I want to save that is because, like, I think that card is quite good. So, like, maybe saving it in Arsenal is, like, fine. But it seems better to play it there just to, like, get the dagger in the graveyard so that we can, Alright, they want to do... Sure. Alright, Breaking Point. Sure. Alright, so we've got a pretty good hand here. So we got Easter coming in for 5. I'm assuming they're going to follow up with, like, Millers here. In which case, what's the play? Ooh, we can actually Art of Dragon Blood, but that doesn't really do anything. Like, we can do this combo, but, like, it's so stupid. That's fine. Maybe we can just try to, like, keep the hand to go for, like, Mass Triggers or something. I don't think we need to really worry about 9 damage here. It's probably fine to race a bit. Because I think the lower we get the Victor, like, the better our synergies are going to get. And coming with the Miller's Grindstone, do we want to block anything here? Might honestly be fine to just like block with this and save on to like the Cinderclaw or maybe like one of our Ardent Dragon Fires or something. I think I'm fine to block 3 here just to save a little damage because I don't know if this Ardent Dragon Blood is actually gonna do a whole lot this next turn. Like it's a 0 for 4 go, which I guess is good, but I don't know. Beyond that, I'm not entirely sure what else it does. All right, so we're gonna see the Millers hit. They'll hit in Uprising and a Golden Main Estate. So I assume they're gonna maybe try to reroll to save the hammer from a counter. I guess not. Cool. Or I guess they didn't lose, right? So they don't get the counter. Sure. So let's go ahead and start with Kunai. So we get to do a very fun thing here with Hurl, where we can do Kunai, Hurl, and Flick Knives, and then reset the Kunai with the Brand, which is kind of cool. So how do we actually see? So Mask of Momentum, does that actually trigger off daggers? I think it does, right? Counters if a attack action card you control so the chain link hits, right? So that's what Mask of Momentum is caring about, right? Okay, so that makes sense. So I think what is the sequencing here? We do dagger, brand, dagger, brand, then we flick off the brand. Or no, we don't flick off the brand. We'd have to flick off the hurl. I think that's the line. So we do dagger, brand, hurl, flick off the hurl. That way that both the hits are happening so that the hurl actually gets the draw. It's kind of cool. I think that's the correct way to sequence it. I've barely played this deck. I played pretty like 10 or 20 games with this deck just to kind of like get a feel for it. Most of that was gold fishing. But apparently, from what I'm learning, is that the kunais will trigger the mask. So that's cool. Maybe it finally gives ninja players a reason to run mask over anything else. All right, go ahead and follow up with Brant. And keep in mind, I think that Brand with Cinderclaw is kind of a filler card for now. All right, so they blocked out the mass trigger here, so we will pass on this one. I think our goal here is to do both Hurl and Flick Knife, so get 2 hits before the Hurl hits, so they now have to block out the Hurl as well. So I think it's a pretty good line, and then they have to give us one more blocking card. So pay 1 for Hurl, and we also get to recur the daggers, which I think is really good. All right, so Flick as well. And if I'm understanding this correctly, this should give us our draw. No, it didn't. Why is that? Oh, because maybe it's the chain link that it cares about. Oh, so if we hit with this chain link, then we did that. Okay, maybe that's actually the play. So it's not caring about the hit of the dagger, it's caring about a chain link that has hit. So if anything, the sequencing was to actually do it on this chain link with the Brain with Cinderclaw. Okay, we're slowly learning. We're getting there. That's very unintuitive to me, but it does make sense, I guess. So this is why I'm saying that, like, I think they need to print cards like Pearl or like the new cards that they kind of spoiled, or like Blood Runs Deep. I think that's going to be kind of like the main synergy of the set, where you're basically going to have to keep the chain open while also putting your daggers in graveyard. Because if you close chain to put the daggers in graveyard, resetting the chain is quite bad. All right, we do have a double Uprising hand for what that is worth. You know what's funny about Chokeslam is that notably it doesn't affect daggers. So what is the play here? We could double Uprising and make our daggers come in for 3. That's probably wrong, right? We could dagger, salt. I don't know if that's even worth. Like maybe Uprising is kind of a meme, but it's a funny meme at least. I guess we'll block with So I guess we'll block with like Uprising and salt. I guess. I don't really know. I don't know if Uprising is doing a ton for us. And maybe we'll just block and reset Maybe that honestly seems like better than anything. Maybe we'll save our Uprising for like a big combo turn. Like we don't have to block this, but like this hand kind of just sucks anyways, right? Because like we can do Uprising, Dagger, Dagger. I don't know. Like there's not like a real reason. Like there's not really a very good way to like do like quad dagger or something. Like we could have maybe used Tunic. So you do Uprising, Dagger, Dagger. That's 2 resources. We have 3 resources left. We close Chain, pay 3 resources. Then we can only attack with 1 more dagger. I don't know. That doesn't seem that good. This hand maybe seems alright though. Oh, they do have a lot of might, so did forget about that, but that's okay. It's just on a Miller's Grindstone. We're probably fine here. So I think we want to save the Sync Blow for maybe the next turn where they have a ton of mites and just try to push for damage this turn. All right, let's see if we can see. I don't know if there's anything to actually sequence on this hand, but we'll do our best. All right, so we have Pearl gone. That's okay. All right, so we'll start with the Uprising. Who knows if this card is going to be good finally? I guess it's kind of like a 0 for 4, which is all right. So I think the play here is we Kunai Kunai. So the play here is Kunai Kunai, close chain, brand blaze headlong, re-equip Kunai paying 1, and then we flick one of the Kunai at some point. Could be decent. All right, send in the other Kunai. Again, this is just kind of my initial pass with the information that we're given. I think as we get more Cindra information, it's probably going to change how I view the deck. So the problem I have with Cindra is kind of that she falls into kind of like a similar deck to Ira, where I don't know if they can ever exist in the same metagame, maybe. We'll close, or, oh, we wanted to flick, actually. That's fine. I'll say I missed it. Whoops, sorry. Or, yeah. I think we'll flick here now, I guess. That's fine. All right, now we close chain. Now we play Brand, which will get the buff off the Uprising. All right, they have a test into a Thunk. That's all right. All right, so now we will Blaze Headlong. Then we can re-equip the daggers, but we don't actually need to attack with the daggers. We can just save it for next turn. Sure. So we'll re-equip daggers here. Re-equip, and I think we'll just pass back, and then we got a nice little quicken for next turn, I guess. But I assume we're going to be trying to probably block out. It's a pretty good hand for blocking, assuming they don't have like a CNC here. Ooh, Golden Sun. Absolutely, sign me up. All right, Golden Sun for 16. We can block 12 of it. It's really good. I guess the question I have is, do we want to do any Knives Out stuff? I think we're just kind of fine blocking out. I mean, like setting up Brand and Arsenal. So let's go ahead and just block 15 of this. Very sad. Victor time. All right, we'll go ahead and sync. I guess we should Fate first in case we want to like find something better. I guess we'll do it after this. So let the sync go. We'll pass on the sync. We should have Fate first, but stupid. Fate. Do we want Ancestral Power? I think we'll bottom that for now. Then I guess we'll go ahead and hold on to this Brand, because it could actually synergize with like our Art of Dragon Fire, or I think it's called Art of Dragon, right? Art of Dragon Fire, I guess, is kind of cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and just pass here. All right, very red heavy hand, but maybe we can make it work. I feel like 2 Spreading Flames is maybe too much, but we'll go for it and I guess see what happens. I think this card might be pretty good in Cindra. Just like being able, so like if you go Spreading Flame, uh, Kunai, the Kunai comes in for 2, right? So like baseline these just get buffed by 2. Seems pretty decent. I don't think we're blocking anything here. Take a little bit of damage here. I think that's fine. All right, they're gonna pull Tunic and may do a Choke Slam. Sure. So Choke Slam does put a little bit of a damper in our plans. What do we want to do? Could honestly just block this again. Like block out and then do what? We could also give up Flick Knives, which seems kind of wrong, but maybe it's okay. We block like 5 here, then play out Spreading, Dagger, Dagger. I don't know. This hand doesn't seem that good, honestly. I'm kind of just inclined to like block out. I guess we could have like held on to like Mounting Ear or something and like sent off Tunic, but it seems whatever. Kind of want to just take a reset turn just because like how many Clash cards have they seen? They've seen 1, 2, 2 Testa Strengths. Kind of seems fine to take an off turn against Victor every once in a while. All right, so we don't want our brand to go away, so we'll go ahead and I think block with Mask here. I do want to hold on to our Flick Knives just in case we need them to kind of confirm the kill. And I think we'll block with Mask and then Fate. They don't have Tunic up, so they can't pummel us, but I think they already pitched one of their pummels, so I think we only have to worry about one for a little bit. All right, go ahead and Fate. Do we want a brand on top? It's kind of good synergy with art, but I think I'd rather try to draw towards like a blue just so the daggers are maybe easier to cast. So we'll go ahead and bottom that. All right, so the sequencing here is a little bit awkward. I guess we can like pull Tunic, start with Art of Dragonfire, which will have Go again. And then maybe that will kind of inform our hand. Let's go ahead and pull Tunic. Send this card. This card has not been very good yet, just because we don't really have a way to know how we're creating fealty tokens normally. One thing I probably didn't notice about their last hand is I don't think they arsenaled, so it pretty much guaranteed means they have a clash card. All right, let's go ahead and I guess just start the chain hitting. All right, that's fine. So can actually use the daggers here without paying for them if we do Brand with Cinderclaw. We played a reds. Wait, no, have we played a red? What does this care about? If you play another red card this turn, this card's red. So this should have go again. I guess we'll have go again anyways, right? So shouldn't matter. But I'm surprised it doesn't glow. I thought normally cards like this that are like active kind of glowed, but all right, to hit off the Golden Sun naturally, sure. And then I think we'll go for the Blood Run Steep. Oh wait, why do we have to pay 1 into this? Oh, it's because that card is a ninja card. Right, I forgot about that. So this card is not a Draconic ninja card. This is just a ninja card. All right, so we'll go ahead and do the brand instead, I guess. So it doesn't really change a ton about our play. It just makes it a little bit more efficient. Let's go ahead and pass on this. I guess we'll just go for the Blood Runs Deep because we're going to be able to re-equip the daggers here anyways. So minor punt, but we'll re-equip the daggers here and just pass it back. All right, looks like we have a Debilitate coming in for 8. So notably, this will only affect our first kunai. Ooh, we do have the Hurl as well. It's really, really good. So I think this hand is just really good, right? We block with Tunic. Our kunai is going to come in for 1, but we can just flick them to death probably. Seems pretty good. All right, we'll block with Tunic. We'll go to 1 and see how it goes. But I imagine this is probably going to be pretty decent against them. So our first kunai is not going to come in for any damage, but that's okay. We also get our Lava Vein loyalties online, which is pretty cool. All right, we'll now do the second kunai. And then we'll flick the other one. Then we can play out 2 Lava Vein loyalties and then hurl the last dagger. Should be really annoying. I guess these cards just don't glow when they get going. Huh. I feel like normally, like Tiger Swipe, for instance, doesn't it normally glow? I could be wrong. Alright, they have a trounce here, which is a little bit unfortunate. But maybe we can get pretty close to killing them. They now need to block this hurl as well. So we'll pay 1 into hurl, flick the other dagger. So get them to 1 here. But it looks like we're just short. So maybe we can try to block out here. Okay, not against a Macho though, unfortunately. Alright, so it looks like our opponent's got this. But again, I think it's pretty good for first time against a Victor. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So I think like the more cards we want, like this game plan already seems kind of like reasonable. Like we just sent a bunch of weird breakpoints that they can't block, and then like just did some annoying stuff. I think there's definitely like just more filler cards. Like I think Art of Dragonfire, we don't really fully understand how that works yet, so I think that matchup probably gets a little bit closer. But we also could have like missed a damage at some point. I think we missed like a Flick Knives trigger at some point. So I'm okay with that game. Let's see if we can get one more. All right, we've got the Cindra Mirror. I feel like I want to go first. All right, give them a good look, have fun. Let's see what they're cooking. We got our mask. I feel like Wax On, Wax Off is probably pretty good in the Cindra. What cards have been underperforming today? I feel like our Dragon Blood is just like not it. Not it yet, at least. And then you can maybe cut like Engulfing also seems kind of memey. Let's try something like this, see how it goes. Alright, so we do have the Spreading Flames on turn 1, which is, I guess, good. What this hand is lacking is like a way to flick daggers. I guess we'll go ahead and just start with the Spreading Flames, though. We can at least Ancestral Empowerment, which is cool. Which I think we will go ahead and do. Right, opponent is also on Stab Wound, which is a pretty good card. I guess how best do we want to like set ourselves up here? So the problem with this hand is we can like do dagger. Like I want to arsenal this ideally. So maybe we send dagger for 2. Flick or something. I don't know. It's gonna be awkward no matter what, I think. I guess we can like close chain. Or we can like play this. Don't love what's going on here. I guess we'll break chain, reoccur the dagger, Arsenal Lava Vein loyalty maybe seems fine. Kind of a weak turn 1. Maybe setting up the Spring Flames is actually better now that I think about it. Alright, we're slowly learning. Alright, so we got the Kunai coming in. Makes sense. I think opponent is also on some brands with Cinderclaw, which seems like a pretty good filler card right now. Right. Another Kunai coming in. I think my game plan is to try to line up the Wax On, Wax Off against them somehow. But let's see what they're cooking. We are, I think, looking to maybe use this Uprising to block whatever this card is. So in order to actually get a hit here, they're probably gonna have to use like Snapdragon or like Razor or something. So I feel like we're maybe fine just like Uprising and then using Wax On, Wax Off to block here. Seems okay. If they want to try to like go for like a greed play. Sure. Does that actually trigger? It doesn't trigger Mask, right? Okay, so I guess we don't care. No, it does trigger Mask. Or sorry, Art of Dragon Blood does trigger Mask, yes. But notably, they don't have action points, so we don't care, right? So if they do Snapdragon there, then we care. But if they don't, then I guess we don't. Sure. So they re-equip the daggers, pass it back. So kind of weak turn, but like understandable given the current state of Cindra. Let's go ahead and kunai, and then we have Blood Runs Deep, which is really good because it will allow us to kind of recur our daggers. This card seems very, very strong. Just 0 for 4, 3 block. That's very annoying to block. Always a good thing, right? Right, so that's fine. I guess we'll play the Lava Vein Loyalty first. No, we probably actually should have played it after this because this comes in for 2, so I guess it's a little bit more annoying to block. All right, do get a Mass Draw, which is really good. Ooh, finding a breaking point. Very, very nice. All right, so finish up with the Blood Runs Deep, which will allow us to click both of those. So notably, Flick Knives kind of redundant here, but that's fine. And then we'll finish on the breaking point, which is really, really solid. And then we also get to recur our daggers this turn, which is real good. But breaking point has been seeming like a pretty alright card. All right, looks like they got a That All You Got. Maybe their own Mirror Breaker tech here. Sure. All right, get the kunais. So they do unfortunately dodge our CNC, but that's okay. I think we're probably gonna try to sit on this Wax Off for as long as we're allowed to. Sure. All right, so we have a dagger for 2, and then I'm presumably following up with another dagger for 2, which I think is okay. I think we're gonna look to try to block out the third chain link here. So what I'm curious is if we try to go for a block on this, and they flick us, does that cause a Mass Draw? I don't think it does. You can tell I've like barely ever played with Mask. I guess, do we want to block with the 3 block or a 2 block? I guess we'll block with the 3 block. Actually, maybe we block with so actually, a funny thing we can do is we can like turn on Art of Dragonfire, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it's actually better to block with Lava Vein Loyalty than the 2 blues. All right, so now I'm curious, does this cause Mask of Momentum to trigger? I don't think it does, right? It has to be the attack that hits. All right. Me reading challenge level impossible. Okay. But so we had, all right, so this should also, if I'm understanding correctly, have the Mask of Momentum trigger, right? So are we fine to just give them a mask? Probably, honestly. Yeah, I think we're, so this should carry over the, because there's been 3 chain links in a row that hit, right? Okay, yes, so I am now understanding Mask of Momentum correctly. Sure. So the question here is how efficiently are they going to be able to kind of recur their daggers here? I'm not running Warmongers either. That might be a miss on my part, but let's see what they got in terms of dagger setup here. All right, coming with another Blaze Headlong. So notably, they can only recur 1 dagger here if they want to. So they were fine to take a little bit of damage to try to push our own thing through. So you get their 1 dagger back, but now they're unfortunately off of this dagger, which is a little bit unfortunate. All right, let's go ahead and start with the kunais. I guess we're also going to be going off daggers. Just maybe okay. If we draw into a blue, we can actually just like reset, which is kind of cool. We do 1/1/1, and then Heart of Dragonfire, and if we draw a blue at any point, we basically get the dagger value back. Right, so hit with those 2 daggers. Now we'll do the brand. So I actually want to use the Flick Knives on this chain link break so we can carry over our Mask of Momentum. Ooh, opponent's starting Bleed Out, which is another card I was kind of considering. But I think we're going to go ahead and flick here since we're already losing the dagger. So now this chain link has technically hit, or there has been something that has hit this chain link, even if it's not the attack. So this should carry over, and this is also going to deal 2 damage to them. If it's coded correctly, which we're kind of hoping it is. All right, we want to target the enemy Cindra here. Yep, so they took 2 damage, cool. And then this also has the Mask of Momentum effect, so if we draw either a yellow or a blue, we can actually use Tunic here to like reset our daggers, which is kind of neat. All right, so it looks like they might be taking it here. So we get our mass trigger. All right, hoping for a blue or a yellow. Okay, that's not a blue or a yellow. Slightly unfortunate here. I guess we can just go ahead and recur the other dagger that we have. Sure. So we're kind of in a similar situation to our opponent last turn. Would like to find the wax off at some point. All right, so what do we have here? This hand kind of sucks as well. I feel like we're supposed to just block with this and then like maybe play out. Like we could do like spreading, Cinder Claw, recur the other dagger. That seems fine. I'm assuming they don't have like very good follow up here. Soaring Strike is also kind of an interesting card. Ooh, they're running Snatch too. Okay. Maybe their turn's going to be a little bit better here. So I do think we want to probably try to block out the Snatch if we can. So in that case, what do we want to do? I guess we can just like block 5. Block 5 like this, and then just play out Brand and then pass. It seems okay. Not like a crazy turn, but I think we're going to try to line up our wax on, wax off for funsies. Sure. So we'll give him a full grip here, but we're kind of in a similar situation, and we're already sitting on the wax off. So I'm hoping if we see one of our 3 copies, we'll be in kind of good shape here. All right, go ahead and pass it back. All right, we do not find the wax off on, unfortunately. So we're kind of IPing ourselves very sadly with this. All right, opponent is going to start with a mounting here. Soulbeat Strike, also kind of an interesting inclusion. Let's go ahead and take the mounting eager here. I think that's fine. I'm kind of hoping they have a little bit of a weaker turn this turn. But I guess it depends. Let's see what they banish. Okay, Snatch, pretty good in this matchup. So I assume they're going to go like Kunai. Can they flick this? It has to be not on the active chain, right? So maybe like Snatch and then flick, recur both daggers or something. Kind of interesting. I think we'll go ahead and take it here. Snatch is coming in, notably for 5. It's pretty good. I think we'll go ahead and block with like these 2. And if they want to go for like a react or something, we have the wax off to cover it. Sure. So we have a flick. So they still hit this combat chain, and they can also... They could snap if they want, but I think they're probably not going to. Okay. So on our turn, we can actually get both of our daggers back, if I'm not mistaken. So we do dagger, mounting, flick on the mounting, recur both daggers, and then we get set up for next turn. It's pretty good. Fortunately, they are going to have a 5-card hand, but I'm really hoping that we can draw one of our copies of Wax on. All right, we'll flick here. And we can pass on this. Mounting air trigger, which will unfortunately do nothing. But we do get to reset our daggers. All right, then I think we'll go ahead and pass it back. Okay, we do finally find our Cindra tech, which is really good. So hopefully we can use this to pretty decent effect. All right, we'll go ahead and wax on this dagger, wax off the other dagger, I guess. I guess this is not even that good, but like I guess it does prevent like flick knives or whatever. It doesn't even really do that, does it? Maybe this actually is like not that good of tech. All right, they're not going to flick here, which is kind of interesting. We do get Zen State for what it's worth, though. All right, they will flick here. So I guess wax on, wax off is maybe not actually as good in a Cindra as I thought it was originally, but still seems like it's pretty good just sticking around for 2 turns, though. All right, we have a mounting coming in. I don't think we care about this yet. Could block with Blood Run Steep if we really wanted to be safe. Like, Blood Run Steep is also like one of our better cards at this point. Like, this hand's actually really good that we have here. So maybe I'm supposed to take this and just hope they can't string together a bunch of chain links. The snatches seem pretty good, though. We'll give him that. Ooh, into a Rowdy Locals. Sure. So that's potentially scary. So that ready local is going to come in for 3. I guess we can use like Blaze Headlong to block or something. Sure. All right, they do get a mass draw here. Ooh, I don't actually know if I wanted to give that to him. I kind of forgot based on the chain links. That might be my bad. Right, Art of Dragon Blood. Huh. So I guess they're going to snaps this and try to go for lethal or something. I guess we're just trying to block out this turn. May set up for our own turn next turn. All right, so we'll snaps. That makes sense. All right, finish on the Rowdy. Guess we can just wax off this and then Arsenal Blaze. It's maybe okay. Oh, that's really funny that we make 2 Zen states. I actually forgot that that was an interaction. Oh, that potentially fucking changes the entire turn, doesn't it? I forgot that you can do that, if I'm being honest. All right, that is a punt, like a definitive punt. All right, we'll go ahead and at least Arsenal the Blaze Headlong. I forgot that that was a thing. That's very funny. All right, well I guess we have 2 Zen states now. I can't be that upset. So I guess when would that have mattered last turn? Maybe it's the mounting anger. Oh yeah, I guess that would be. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, you all can scream at me in the comments for not seeing the doubles end state line. It is pretty late at night, so we also just came back for an armory, so I'm kind of out of it. All right, doubles end state, save me. All right, we have Bittering Thorns coming in. I think we need to try to go for something here, so I think we're supposed to just take this. Their daggers aren't going to be doing anything here, so we should be safe this turn. It depends what other cards they have in their deck. All right, we have a Rising, which will be coming in for 2 as well. 2 over. Could block with the Hurl, but Hurl is also like one of our better cards. Maybe blocking with like Brand is also fine. Just save a little bit of buffer. Let's see what the follow-up is. We got a Hurl. All right, so this is only coming in for 1, and then I guess they get back both their daggers with the 2 floating. How many Draconics? They only have 1 Draconic, so I guess that's the play, right? I think we can maybe beat this. All right, let's try it. Let's go for it here, I guess. All right, so recurring the daggers makes sense. We at least do get tempo here, which is worth something. All right, our Zen states are gone, but we're looking pretty good. So we need to start with the Uprising here. And then we'll go dagger, 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 flick the other dagger. Flick knives, that dagger, sure. Then we play out Hurl, pay 1 into the Hurl. We can then Blaze Headlong. How many Draconics are we at? We're at 3 after Blaze Headlong. Then we can recur, use Tunic to send another Draconic attack at them. So they have to block here with some stuff. And we at least have like a little bit of armor to kind of buff out some of their attacks. So I think we're in maybe okay shape here. We'll also be getting a mass trigger here. Ooh, I think that might be really good for us. Okay. Then I guess we follow up with Lava Vein Loyalty. And then we can do Dagger for 1 of them. Seems quite good. But I'm guessing here they might have forgotten about the mass trigger, which I have totally not done this game, or the last game even. Mask of Momentum is just like the weirdest fucking card to me. All right, let's go ahead and pass on this. All right, we recur the daggers. Then we can pull Tunic. and send one of them at them, which will force one additional block. And then that should put us just in Kodachi lock at this point. Yeah, it seems like they maybe acknowledge that. Good game. They had a really cool deck, though. Let's actually take a look at their deck. So, running a couple more generics like the Bearing Thorns, I guess Soulbeat Strikes, which kind of makes sense. Spraying Flames, I think, has been really solid, though. What else? Other cards? Soaring Strike is kind of also like a neat card. Statues were very, very good this game, though. Definitely good, maybe into like the aggro mirror. And then they're also running like Rowdy Locals and stuff. Like this is like a very good list. Like I think given like current Cindra jank, like this is probably about pretty similar to I guess what we're running, right? Yeah, but I think that's probably gonna wrap it up for today. So this has kind of been the Cindra mood board. I think there are a lot of cards in here that are kind of like questionable filler cards for now. Looking at like Engulfing Flame Wave and like some of the other stuff. But there have been some cards that I think have been at least overperforming in the jank list, which is like Breaking Point. I think this card's been really good. I think there's also like a card, where is it? Like Art of the Dragon Claw, which is basically just Breaking Point, but maybe more easy to kind of like turn on. So that's kind of cool. So maybe there's going to end up being like 6 copies of CNC in a Cindra deck, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, but Tome of Imperial Flame has not been doing anything. Like, there's not currently a reason to run this card, so until we see more spoilers, I don't think this card's worth it. And then, yeah, all these other cards are kind of like filler. Yeah, but that was the first kind of look at Cindra. Again, as more cards come out, which there are been some cards for Cindra that come out today that we weren't able to play. But I think that as more cards come out, we'll get a better idea of what she looks like. But this has been kind of like a fun iteration for now. It's kind of like Bad Ira, but I think like once we get more cards, it's honestly gonna look like a little bit better than Ira, at least to me. Yeah, but that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.